Picture this: a cozy living room in Houston, buzzing with friends, wine glasses clinking, and laughter slicing through the air like a sharp knife. Then comes Jake's voice, booming over the chatter. "Oh man, you should have seen her face when she tried to tell a story," he crowed, smirking at me from across the room. The snickers erupted like popcorn, my cheeks flaring red as I clutched my glass tighter. "She just rambles, never gets to the point. It's like watching a blindfolded toddler try to parallel park." More laughter. More eyes on me. My practiced smile, the one I'd plastered on for 5 years of marriage, felt like it might crack. I'm Lauren Carter, 32, a marketing exec at one of Houston's top firms. I run million-dollar campaigns and a team of 15 like it's second nature. But at home? I'm Jake's go-to punchline, the butt of every snarky jab he tosses out about my cooking, my looks, my everything. Tonight was supposed to be a chill dinner with friends, but like always it morphed into the Jake show. He was on fire, spinning tale after tale, each one engineered to make me look like a fool. I tried to chime in about my big promotion at work, but he swooped in with, "Oh, she probably slept through the meeting where they announced it. She could snooze through a tornado." Cue the laughs. Cue the stares. Seriously, though, he went on, slinging his arm around me in that smug, possessive way of his, "You should see her give presentations. Remember that time you called me bawling because you forgot the client's name?" Total lie. But Jake's a master at weaving just enough truth into his bullshit that even I'd start doubting myself. Whenever I'd push back, he'd flash that patronizing grin and coo, "Relax, babe, it's just a joke." Watching him hold court in our living room, so cocky, so sure he owned me and this crowd, I felt something shift. Something dangerous. See, Jake didn't know I'd hit my breaking point. His dirty little secret, the one he'd begged me to bury, was clawing its way up my throat. As he strutted his stuff, I realized, maybe it was time to tell a really funny story. Back when we met, Jake's jabs felt harmless. It was at a company party, me in a killer dress representing my firm. Him all charm and swagger. I spilled my drink, he teased me about it, and when he said, "You're cute when you're flustered," I thought it was flirty, not mean. Big mistake. The shift was slow at first. Little digs about my awful sense of direction in front of his buddies, quips about how I couldn't dress myself without him. He'd smooth it over with fancy gifts or a candlelit dinner, like that erased the sting. I used to be a rock star at work. My boss, Sarah, raved about my sharp mind in killer presentations. But Jake's nonstop mockery started creeping into my head, making me second-guess myself mid-meeting, his voice echoing in my skull. Our wedding should have been the red flag. During his speech, he had the whole room cackling about my clumsiness and airhead moments. My dad shifted in his seat, uneasy, but everyone else ate it up. I told myself it was just his quirky way of showing love. Then 2 years ago, the bedroom problems hit. First, he blamed his stress. Then he pointed at me, too needy, too pushy. When we finally saw a doctor and got the news about his impotence, something in him twisted. The jokes got nastier, more frequent. It was like he had to shred me to prop himself up. "Don't tell a soul," he pleaded after the diagnosis. "This stays between us." I agreed, thinking that's what a loyal wife does. Even as he turned our social circle into his personal comedy club, I kept his secret. Last week, though, I caught him on the phone with his buddy Tom, spinning lies about how I'm cold and impossible to please. My blood boiled as he flipped our private pain into another chance to dunk on me. 5 years I'd spent shrinking myself, faking chuckles while my soul withered, guarding his shame while he paraded my flaws, real or invented, for the world to see. Now, staring around our living room at these so-called friends who'd laughed at his crap for years, I wondered, would they still think he's hilarious if they knew the truth? And here's the kicker. Jake was saying, his voice hitting that theatrical peak he loved. Last week, Lauren tried to cook a romantic dinner. Burnt it to a crisp. Smoke everywhere. She can't even boil water without a meltdown. The laughter stabbed at me like pins. Truth is, I'd slaved over that meal hoping we could talk things out. The smoke? That was from me juggling a call from Jake saying he'd be late again. Tom's wife, Emily, leaned in with her wine glass. "At least she tries, Jake. When's the last time you cooked anything?" A flicker of warmth hit me until Jake smirked and fired back, "Oh, I keep her satisfied in other ways, right, babe?" The room exploded with suggestive hoots. My face burned as he basked in it, knowing damn well he was dangling a lie to dodge his own failures. Actually, I started, but he cut me off. "Careful, sweetheart, don't embarrass yourself again," he said, all playful like. But his eyes screamed, "Shut up. Remember last month at the Miller's party when you botched that client story? That wasn't, I tried again. See what I mean?" he said to the room. She gets so muddled. Good thing she's got me to keep her on track. Tom and the others chuckled, but Emily's gaze lingered on me, worried. The air felt thick, years of shame piling on my chest. Then Jake went for the kill. Get this, she actually suggested we try for kids soon. Can you imagine? She can barely handle herself. The room hushed. 5 childless years of marriage hung in the silence, awkward glances bouncing around. I mean, let's be real, he plowed on. Some people just aren't parent material, right, babe? That was it. Something inside me snapped into sharp focus. I'd guarded his secret out of love, loyalty, some dumb sense of duty. I'd swallowed the jabs, the humiliation, while he painted himself as the big man by dragging me through the mud. But this? Using our struggles to shame me while dodging his own mess? Hell no. I set my glass down, hands steady for once. Time to flip the script. Jake, I said, my voice calm but firm, maybe you should tell them about your doctor's visit last year. His smirk froze. Babe, you're drunk. Get some water. I'm not drunk, I shot back. I'm clearer than I've been in years. I faced our friends. Want a real funny story? Jake bolted up. Who needs a refill? Tom? Emily? His voice cracked with panic. Sit down, Jake, I said coolly. You love story time, don't you? The tension thickened as he glared at me, his usual tricks failing. Lauren's had too much wine, he announced, grasping for control. She gets weepy, remember that Christmas party when I what? I cut in. When I caught you lying about our sex life to your pals. Or when I heard you pinning our kidless marriage on me. Emily set her glass down. Jake, maybe let her talk. There's nothing to say, he barked, but it sounded hollow. She's just dramatic, you know how women are. Do I get dramatic when you trash my cooking, my job, my looks? My voice grew steel. Or am I dramatic about the real reason we've got no kids? His face went ghost white. He grabbed my arm. Babe, let's take this private. For a split second, I wavered, the old instinct to shield him kicking in. He saw it, softening his tone. I'm sorry if I went too far. You know I love you. Let's just enjoy the night. Tom nodded. Come on, Lauren, he's just messing around. I almost caved. Almost. Then his hand tightened on my shoulder, a veiled threat, and he whispered. Remember what we agreed. Some things stay private. That's when it hit me. His concern was a leash, my silence his weapon. You're right, Jake, I said, standing tall. Some things should stay private, like your sex life jabs, especially since. I met his eyes. When's the last time we even had one? Lauren, don't, he growled. What's wrong? I thought you loved jokes. I turned to the room. For 2 years, my husband's been, Jake lunged, knocking over his glass. This isn't funny. No, I agreed, stepping back. It never was. Emily broke in, voice shaky. Maybe we should talk about what you told Tom last week, Jake. His head whipped toward her. What? How Lauren's frigid. How she's why you can't. She stopped, letting it hang. The silence was suffocating. I stared at her, then Tom, who wouldn't meet my eyes. You've been saying it's my fault? I whispered. Babe, they're twisting it, Jake stammered. Just guy talk, you know? Guy talk. Emily snapped. You've been telling the whole club your wife's defective, that she's why you can't perform. Shut up. Jake roared, startling everyone. You don't know shit. But Emily kept going. I heard you at Lisa's party saying Lauren's lucky you stick around cause no one else would want her. Enough. My hand shook, not with fear but fury. I protected him while he smeared me everywhere. Actually, it's not enough, I said, voice slicing through. Want to know why we've got no kids? Why Jake's obsessed with my flaws? Why he's gotta tear me down? Lauren, please, he begged, his bravado crumbling. Think about this. I have. For 2 years. Every time you mocked me, blamed me, made me small. I faced the room. My husband's been impotent, full erectile dysfunction. That's why no kids. That's why he invents crap about me. That's why he needs me to look weak, to hide his own mess. The silence was a brick wall. Jake stood there, pale as death, no snappy comeback in sight. The doc said it's probably psychological, I went on. Suggested therapy. He refused. Instead, he turned me into his punching bag. You promised, Jake rasped, voice breaking. You swore you'd never, and you swore to love and respect me, I shot back. Guess we're both letdowns. Tom coughed awkwardly. Emily glared at Jake like he was trash. The others squirmed, avoiding us. For once, Jake was speechless, stripped bare, just like he'd left me feeling for years. You've ruined everything. He hissed, low and venomous. Think this is funny? Humiliating me. No, Jake. I don't find humiliation funny. That's where we differ. He spun to the group, desperate. She's lying. She's jealous of me, you know how she gets. Stop, Tom said, firm. We've seen how you treat her. Oh, now you're on her side? Jake sneered. After laughing at my jokes? That's why. Emily cut in. The stuff you've said, it's cruel. We should have called it out. Jake's face twisted. Cruel, huh? Fine. He turned to me. Tell him about that promotion you're so proud of. Tell him how you really got it. My stomach dropped. He'd never gone there before. Tell him about those late nights with your boss, he spat. Why you got picked over better people. The room froze. Then a new voice rang out. I can explain that promotion. Everyone turned. Sarah, my boss, stood in the doorway, contracts in hand. I'd forgotten she was swinging by. I've been here a while, she said, strolling in. Long enough to hear you trash your wife to save your skin. Jake blanched. This is private. Nothing's private with you, Jake, Sarah snapped. That's your game, right? Airing dirty laundry. She faced the room. Lauren earned that promotion. She landed the Carter account solo, late nights with the team, me included. She's a damn star. Sarah, you don't. I started. Yes, I do, she said. I've watched you dim yourself for him too long. She glared at Jake. The only one coasting here is you. Jake scanned the room for backup. Found none. You think this makes you strong, he snarled at me. Turning my friends against me? Spilling private shit? I grabbed my purse. No, Jake. What's strong is not needing to crush others to feel big. That's your thing. I turned to the group. Thanks for coming. Party's over. As they shuffled out, Jake tried one last shot. Walk away now, don't come back. I paused at the stairs. That's the first funny thing you've said all night. 'Cause I'm not. Word spread like wildfire. Within a week, Jake's charming jokester mask was toast. People swapped stories of his nastiness, how he'd ruled the country club with his barbs, how his table emptied out when the truth hit. His buddies ghosted him. Especially after Emily spilled more of his venomous lies. The knockout punch? His firm's big dinner. He tried a quip about me. Forgot I wasn't there to take it. Someone heckled. This is true as your other stories, Jake. The room laughed at him. He stormed out, got plastered, and ranted about me ruining him. But real ruin? That's what he'd done to himself. 6 months later, I'm a new woman. That promotion opened doors I'd never dared knock on. Without Jake's voice in my head, I'm killing it. Sarah's now a friend cheering me on. Emily and I grabbed coffee, laughing at real humor. She ditched Tom after our showdown inspired her own escape. Divorce was easy. Jake, terrified of more shame, caved fast. His last jab? Now everyone knows why we've got no kids. My lawyer's stare shut him up. Saw him last week, alone at a restaurant, bombing with the waitress. Still can't take a joke. Lauren? He called. I turned. Oh, I can. Just realized you're the punchline. His silence as I walked away? Priceless. Now, in the mirror, I see a woman done being a target. I see joy reclaimed mine. Turns out, the best comeback isn't exposing a bully. It's outshining them.